Hello, Maddie here. We are back with a book. Shocking. I know. It's a book called Shuffle Repeat by Jen Klein. It's a book set in high school. It's about two kids who live on the same street and they maybe played together when they were younger, but they're being forced to carpool together. They're senior year. And the whole premise is that his parents have stayed together and her parents got divorced. And his parents were high school sweethearts. So they have very different views of love, especially high school love. So they start this debate, I guess. And every time they come up with something that proves their side of the argument, they get to add a song to their playlist. And so this playlist just grows as the year progresses. And of course, obviously, lots of things happen. At the beginning, they're both dating different people and no cheating or anything happens. Because if cheating happened, I would not be a fan. I'm not a fan of cheating. I don't like lying in general. And I feel like cheating very much falls into that category. So that's the premise of this book. But the reason I wrote a blog about it and the reason I want to talk about it today is to bring you in to a kind of funny Maddie phenomenon. People like things for different reasons. I like books mostly because of how they make me feel. I like the characters. I like the relationships developed. But every once in a while, there are books. There's only a handful of them that when I think of them, I think of a specific quote. Or I'll get this specific quote just stuck in my head on a loop. And this book has one of those. And the quote, okay, so the quote, I want it to be exactly perfect word for word on camera because I will quote it all the time, but it's probably rarely ever exactly right. But the exact quote, it's towards the end of the book, and he says, "And then there was Kaylee's party, when I thought it all changed, when I kissed you the way I'd wanted to kiss you for months." And he pauses, swallows, recovers, and suddenly everything in the world seemed like it was right. Oh my gosh, you still my heart. The part that I always think of is I kissed you the way I'd wanted to kiss you for months. Because months is italicized, so I feel like it's said like that. And just that quote, because, I am married, but I can still remember. I remember Evans and my first kiss. I remember wanting it so bad because he didn't kiss me on our first date. And so physical touch is my love language. And so when he didn't kiss me on our first date, I thought he didn't like me, which is so not true. That's a complete lie. He very much liked me. It was after formal, and while it had not been months, it had only been a couple of weeks, but it still was just, if I could have said that, and I kiss you the way I'd wanted to kiss you since I first saw your cute face. These are fictional characters, but you can use the English language to say some super powerful stuff. There's a reason why 99% of the tattoos I want are just quotes because I love words. I love the power that they hold. I love the meaning they can convey. I love the connection and the depth and the personal connection you can have to something that somebody on the other side of the world wrote. Somebody 100 years ago wrote. You don't have to be exactly like the person saying the words for those words to hold meaning and for them to have weight. And I think that's so cool and so powerful. And this book is a cutesy high school chick flick. You don't expect it to have these quotes that stick with you. And maybe that's partly why it does, because it comes out of left field. You don't expect this teenage boy to say something so emotionally raw. You get to that quote and it's just I want to share these words with you because they mean so much to me. And to remind you that one, words have power. If we want to quote Cinderella, we're approximating here. It's something like, names have power, like magic spells. And all of a sudden, it seemed her stepmother and sisters had indeed transformed her into merely a creature of ash and toil. I wonder how close that is. Let's find out. Yes, okay. Names have power, like magic spells. and of a sudden it seemed to her that her stepmother and stepsisters had indeed transformed her into merely a creature of ash and toil. Wow, I was only like 1 or 2 words off. I've seen that movie a few times. I also really love that quote because words are so powerful. And as a person who doesn't talk much, it's not that I don't think my words have power, but it's that there are so many words in this world said that have just no meaning. They are said and forgotten, and not like a waste of breath or a waste of space or any of those things, because normal conversations need to happen for life to continue. But it's almost like I have a word count, like a word limit. And so I like saying things and remembering things that hold meaning, and they don't need to hold meaning to the world. This quote that I've just taken out of this book, you might hear that and be like, that's nice, Maddie. Okay, I guess. And that's fine. But this is to say, words have power, which I've now said like a dozen times. I have multiple things. 2, your words have power. So be aware of that. Don't be careless with what you say. And again, that's not to say don't talk, because we have to talk to get things done, to communicate. But don't be careless. Be cognizant of what you're saying. And 3, even though this book and this quote might not have resonated with you, or the Cinderella quote resonated with you, watch it. It's super good. Cinderella, 2015, Lily James. If these quotes didn't resonate with you, I would urge you to find ones that do and maybe look into why, because we all have things that are important to us. So the quotes that have meaning to me aren't going to have meaning to other people, and that's totally fine. I don't need my quotes to mean anything to you, because they mean something to me. This is just a moment of me sharing some very special words with you and encouraging you to read the book that maybe doesn't look very deep. I don't know, engage in the conversation, to listen to the music, to watch the movie, to do a thing that might look very plain, very predictable, because there are some really, really beautiful moments in the common. There are some wonderful words said in the simplest of places. I want us to have conversations. I want us to say things to the people that we love, to the people that we care about, to the world in general, because let's sidetrack for a minute. We're going to go off on maybe a tangent. I'm thinking of things like social media. Twitter is the first thing on my mind, because it's literally just words. I mean, it's not, you can do pictures and stuff, but it's words is what it's for. And the amount of dumb stuff that people take the time to tweet is a little sad sometimes. To be fair, there are some really, really great things on Twitter. Not much. I could not tell you the last time I was on Twitter. I was like, and I know I've used my Twitter a little bit, but the one tweet I remember the most is I took the time to break up and tweet out Sam's monologue from the end of the Two Towers movie. That monologue does not happen in the book. I think they have a little bit of like a back and forth, but there's not this like long soliloquy of, we shouldn't be here. This isn't right. But, this is like the stories that really mattered. Somebody had to do the hard thing, basically. So I want you to kind of take that example of social media of, you can say lots of dumb stuff. It's easy to say a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of meaningless stuff, a lot of nonsense stuff. But taking the time to put down words or put out words in the world that have some, even just 1% meaning to them, I don't know. It'd be really cool just to see how things could change if people were a little bit more, I don't even want to say careful, because it's not about being careful. It's just about caring. It's about caring about what you're putting into the world. And I said, there's lots of commonplace stuff, because we still need to communicate what's for dinner. I'm doing laundry. Get your clothes out. Or are you doing the dishes? Can you empty the dishwasher? Feed the cats, whatever. All of these words are important because these things need to happen. But also the moments of just so hard to have a good example of meaning just off the top of your head, because I have a wonderful example, and hopefully this person will know who I'm talking about, but hopefully they're okay with it. will be purposely vague for their sake. I don't know if they'll care. I don't know. Okay, so I went to a hangout last weekend, and one of the people there, their love language is words of affirmation. And they basically said, I don't like that we talk about how great people are and how much we love them at like weddings and funerals. They're like, that's dumb. So I'm going to do it now because I want to. And they just took the time to go around to each person and let them know that they love them and what they saw in them that brought meaning to their life. And it's like, who does that? But how amazing is that? To have a person, yes, that may seem weird and quirky, but it had so much meaning to it. It held so much weight. And I don't know about the other people there, but I felt very loved and very seen. And even though words of affirmation isn't in my like top things, it still meant the world because I'm an Enneagram 4 and we like being seen, and it just made me feel very, very seen. That's a great example of somebody who sees the value of words but is annoyed that we don't use them more often. Because they were like, why are we saying nice things about these people at the funerals? They're not here to hear them anymore, and I want you to hear them while you're still here. I love that. Honestly, I love that so much. I think it's amazing. So words are important, and you get to decide what you put out into the world and what you say to your friends and what you say to the people that you care about, to the people that you see every day, whether you like them or not. You get to choose how you talk to them, what you say to them. Just something to think about. So I still very much recommend this book. It is very, very cute. It is very teenage angsty, but it has a great payoff in the end because this quote comes out towards the end. And like in my blog, I'm going to read you the full passage of what this quote is taken out of. Also, the guy's name is Oliver, and I'm obsessed with the name Oliver. Oh, okay, no, we're gonna read more than we put in my blog because we can. Oliver's voice is icy. We were friends, and it was great. And then I thought maybe we were more than friends, but I didn't want to mess it up. I was with Ansley, and you were with Itch, and it all seemed manageable that way. Like, at least we wouldn't ruin it by trying to have something more than friendship, even though I knew, June, that you and I together was so much more special and interesting than either of us with anyone else. I stare at him. He's not just mad. He's furious. Oliver. I'm still talking, he says. When you didn't even tell me you broke up with Itch, that's when I knew I had made it all up in my head. That there was nothing between us. We really were just friends, like I'd been lying to Theo all along. So I went with it, because I really, really liked you as my friend, and also because otherwise the world didn't make sense. And then there was Kylie's party, when I thought it all changed. When I kissed you the way I wanted to kiss you for months. And he pauses, swallows, recovers. And suddenly, everything in the world seemed like it was right. Ugh! Be still my heart. So, yeah, the end of it, but also I knew that you and I together was so much more special and interesting than either of us with anyone else. That's how it should feel with the person that you love. But that's where I want to end it because I think it's powerful and wonderful and awesome. So, with all of that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a great night, great week, great weekend, great month, great year. I hope you have all the greats because you're truly worthy and deserving of them. So until next time, bye. C'est bien. Okay, so Evan's in the background. My desk is a mess. Just don't look at any of that. We are adding this bit in. I told my brother that in my next video, I would include the stupidly expensive ramen bowl. and I forgot. So we're doing it now before I have to go into editing tomorrow. And that bowl is here. It's beautiful and amazing. I'm obsessed. Oh, yeah, really? It's beautiful and amazing. I'm obsessed with it. I will put a link to the creator's Instagram. Her name is Summer Ceramics, and I'm obsessed. It's amazing. It was it was stupid expensive. It was stupid expensive, and that's all you need to know. So, William, this is for you.